Hello, my name is Isabella Sepulveda, and I'm going to tell you about the book The Hunger Games, Chapter 3. The moment the ending ends, we are taken into custody. I don't mean we're handcuffed or anything, but a group of peacekeepers march us through the front door of the Justice Building. Maybe tributes have tried to escape in the past. I never seen that happen though. Once inside, I conducted to a room on death alone. It's the richest place I've ever been in, with deep carpet and a velvet couch and chairs. I know velvet because my mother has a dress with a color made of the stuff. When I sit on the couch, I can't help running my fingers over the fabric repeatedly. It helps to calm me as I try to prepare to the next hour. The time allowed for the tributes to say goodbye to their loved ones. I can't afford to get stopped, to leave this room with puffy eyes and a red nose. Crying is not an option. There will be more cameras at the train station. My sister and my mother come first. I reach out to Prim and she climbs on my lap, her arms around my neck, head on my shoulder. Just like she did when she was a toddler. My mother sits beside me and grabs her arms around us. For a few minutes, we say nothing. Then I start telling them all the things they must remember to do. Know that I will not be there to them for them. Prayer is not to take any teaser. They can get me if they're careful. On ceiling springs got milk and cheese, and a small apothecary business my mother knows run for the people in the same. Gail would get her the herbs. She doesn't grow herself, but she must be very careful to describe them because he's not as familiar with them as I. Hill's also bring in the game. He and I made a pact about this a year or so ago, and will probably not ask for compensation, but they should thank him with some kind of trade, like meal or medicine. I don't bother suggesting Pring learn to hunt. I tried to teach her a couple of times and I was disastrous. The woods terrified her, and whenever I shoot something, she'd get ready and tell about how the meat be able to help it if we got a home somehow. But she makes out well with her goat, so I concentrate on that. When I'm done with instruction about food and writing and staying in school, I turn to my mother and grip her arm hard. Listen to me. Are you listening to me? She not alarmed by my anxiety. She must know what's coming. You can live again, I say. My mother eyes fin the floor. I know. I wanna call him what? What you have to help is this time. You can clock out and leave Brin on her own. There's no me now to keep you put alive. It doesn't matter what happens wherever you see on the screen. You have to promise me you'll fight through it. My boss has risen to the shout, and it's all the danger of the fear I feel at her abandonment. She pulls her arm from my grasp, moves to anger herself. No, I was ill. I could have treated myself. It's hit hard the medicine I had now. That part about her being ill may be true. I've seen her bring back people suffering from immobility, sickness since. Perhaps it is a sickness, but it's one we can't afford. Then take it and take care of her, I said. I'll be alright, Katniss, said Prim, clasping my face in her hands. But you have to take care too. You're so fast and brave. Maybe you can win. I can win. Prim must know that in her head, the competition will be far beyond my abilities. Kids from wealthier districts, where winning is a high honor, will be being trained their whole life for this. Boys who are 2 to 3 times my size. Girls will want 20 different ways to kill you with a knife. Oh, there'll be people like me too. People to wait before the real fun begins. Maybe, I say, because I can hardly tell my mother to carry on a right given of myself. Besides, it isn't in my nature to go without a fight, even when things seem insurmountable. Then we be rich as a height Mitch. I don't care if we're rich. I just want you to come home. You will try, won't you? Really, really try? A spring. Really, really tried, I swear it. I said, and I know because of Prince you'll have to. And the pig keepers is at the door, signaling our times is up. And we're all hugging on another so hard it hurts. And all I'm saying is, I love you. I love you both. And they're saying it back, and the pig keepers, others, the note, and the door closed. I buried my head in one of the bed's pillows, and it can't block the whole thing out. Someone else enters the room, and when I look up, I'm surprised to see it's the baker, Peter Millar's father. I can't believe he's come to visit me. After all, I'll be trying to kill his son soon. But we don't know each other a bit, and he knows Prince even better. When she sells her goat cheeses at the hub, she puts two of them aside for him, and he gives her a generous amount of bread in return. We always wait to try it with him when his chick witch of a wife isn't around because he's so much nicer. I feel certain he would never had hit his son the way he did over the warmed bread. But why has he come to see me? The baker sits awkwardly on the edge of one of the plush chairs. He's a big, broad-shouldered man with burn scars from years at the ovens. He must have just said goodbye to his son. He pulls a white paper pad back from his jacket pocket and holds it out to me. I open it and find cookies. These are a luxury we can never afford. Thank you, I say. The baker's not a very talkative man in the best of times, and today he has no works at all. I had some of your bread this morning. My friend Gal gave you a squirrel for it. He nods. I just remembered the squirrel. Not your best trait, I say. He shrugged as I feel as if it couldn't possibly matter. Then I can't think of anything else, so we sit in silence until a peacemaker summons him. He rises and calls Claire his throat. I'll keep an eye on the little girl, make sure she's eating. I feel some of the pressure in my chest lingering at its worst. People deal with me, but there are Henley front of Brim. Maybe there will be no funds to keep her alive. My next guest is also unexpected. Meg Walls straight to me. She is not weepy or evasive. Instead, there's an urgency about her tone that surprised me. They left you wear on thing from your district in the arena. One thing to remind of your home. Will you wear this? She holds out the art of the circular gold pin that was on her dress earlier. I hadn't paid much attention to it before, but now I see this small bird on flight. Drooping, I say. Wearing a token from my district is about the last thing on my mind. Her, I put on your dress, all right? Midge doesn't wait for an answer. She just leans and applies the bird on my dress. Promise you'll wear it into the arena, Katniss? She asks. Promise? Yes, I say. Cookies. A pin. I'm getting all kinds of gifts today. Might gives me on more. A kiss on the cheek, then she's gone, and I left thinking that maybe Mitch really has been my friend all along. Finally, Gail is here, and maybe there is nothing romantic between us. But when he opened his arms, I doesn't hesitate to go into them. His body is familiar to me. The wedding mobs, the smell of wood smoke, even the sound of his heart beating, I know from quiet moments on a hunt. But this is the first time I really feel it. Land unharmed muscled against to my own against my own. Listen, he said. Getting a knife should be pretty easy, but you got to get your hands on a bow. That's your best chance. They don't always have bows, I say, thinking of years where only horrible speak mazes that the tributes had to blow them on another to dead wind. Then me on, says Gal. Even a weak bow is better than no bow at all. I have tried copying my father's bow with poor results. It's not that easy. Even he had to scribe his own work sometimes. I don't ever know a year will be wood, I say. Another year they tossed everybody into a landscape of nothing but boulders and sand and scruffy bushes. I particularly hate that year. Many contestants were beaten by venomous snakes or when signed frontiers. There's almost always some wood, Gil says. Signs that year half of them did of cold. Not much entertainment in that. It's true. We'd spend on Hunger Games watching the players freeze to death at night. You could hardly see them because they were just huddled in balls and had no wood for fires or torches or anything. It was considered very anticlimactic in the capital. Although quiet, bloodless deaths, since then there usually being good to make furious. Yes, there was always some, I said. Katniss, it's just hunting. You're the best hunter I know, says Gal. It's not just hunting, they're armed. They think, I say. So do you, and you had more practice, real practice. He says, you know how to kill, not people, I say. How different can it be really? Says Gal grimly. The awful thing is that if I can forget their people, it will be no different at all. The peacekeepers are back too soon, and Gale asks for more time, but they're taking him away and start to panic. Don't let them starve, I cried, clinging to his hand. I won't, I won't, Katniss, remember I. He says, and they yank us apart and slam the door, and I never know what it was he wanted me to remember. It's a short ride from the Justice Building to the train station. I've never been in a car before. Really, I've been riding in wagons. In the sand we travel on foot. I've been riding not to cry. The station is swarming with reporters with their distinctly cameras trained directly on my face, but I have a lot of practice at wiping my face clean of emotion, and I do this now. I catch a glimpse of myself on the television screen on the wild depths. I remember my arrival, live and feel gratified that appear almost bored. Peter Mother, on the other hand, has always been crying and interested in all those not seem to be trying to cover it up. And immediately wonder if this will be his strategy in the games, to appear weak and frightened, to reassure the other tributes that he is no competition at all, and then kind of fitting. This worked very well for a girl, Johanna Mason, for District 7, a few years back. She seemed like such a sniveling, cowardly fool that no one bothered about her ordeal. There were only a handful of contestants left, and tomorrow she could kill visualists. Pretty clever the while she played it, but he sent an old strategy for Peter Mahler because he's a baker's son. All those years of having enough to eat and having bread twice around had made him broad-shouldered and strong. It will take an awful lot of whipping to convince anyone to overlook him. Will he have to stand for a few minutes in the doorway of the train with the cameras gobble up our images? Then we're alone inside and the doors close mercifully behind us. The train begins to move at once. The speed initially takes my breath away. Of course, I've never been on a train as travel between the districts is forbidden. Except for officially sanctioned duties for us, the mainly transporting coal. But this is no ordinary coal train. It's one of the highest spy capital models that averages 250 miles per hour. Our journey to the capital will take less than a day. In school, they'll tell us the capital does boil in a place called the Rockies. District 11 was in a region known as Appalachia. Even hundreds of years ago, they mean coal car, which is why our masters have to deep so depth. Some show it's all come back to call at the school. Mrs. Basic reading and math most of instruction is coal related. Expect for the weekly lecture and on the story of Pandem. It's mostly a lot of blunder about what you want of the capital. I know there's not be more than they're telling us. An actual account of what happened during the rebellion. But I don't spend much time thinking about it. Whatever the truth is, don't see how it will help me get food on the table. The Tribute trial is fancier than even the run in the Justice Building. We are each given our own chambers that have a bedroom, a dressing area, and a private bathroom with hot and cold running water. We don't have hot water at home unless we boil it. There are drawers filled with the thin clothes, and every trinket tells me to do anything I want. Where anything I want, everything is at my disposal. Just be ready for supper in an hour. I peel off my mother's blue dress and take a hot shower. I've never had a shower before. It's like being in a summer rain, only warmer. I dress in a dark green shirt and pants. At the last minute, I remember Smite's little gold pin. For the first time, I get a good look at it. It's as if someone fashioned a small gold bead and then attached a ring around it. The bead is connected to the ring, only by its wing tips. It suddenly recognizes it, a mockingjay. There are funny birds and sometimes of a slap in the face to the capital. During the rebellion, the capital bred a series of genetically rarer animals as weapons. The common term for them was mutarians, or sometimes mut for short. On was a special bird called a jabberjay that had the ability to memorize and repeat a well-known conversation. They were hummingbirds, exclusively male, that were released into regions where the capital's enemies were known to be hidden. After the base guards wars, they'd fly back to centers to be recorded. It took people a while to realize that was going in this district, how property conversion were being transmitted. Then, of course, the rebels feed the capital endless lies, and the joke was on it. Some dissenters were shut down and the bears were abandoned to die off in the wild. Only they didn't die off. Or did they didn't die off. Instead, the Jabberjays mated with female mockingbirds, creating a whole new species that could replicate both bears' whistles and human melodies. They had lost the ability to announcing words, but could still mimic a range of human vocal sounds, from a child's high-pitched warble to a man's deep tones. And they could recreate song, not just a few notes, but whole songs with multiple verses. If you have the patience to sing them and if they like your voice. My father was particularly fond of mockingjays. When we went hunting, he would whistle or sing complex songs to them, and after a polite pause, did always sing back. Not everyone is treated with such respect, but whenever my father sang, all the birds in the area would fall silent and listen. His voice was that beautiful, high and clear, and so filled with life and made you want to laugh and cry at the same time. I could never bring myself to continue the practice after he was gone. Still, there's something comforting about a little bird. It's like having a piece of my father with me, protecting me. It fastened the pin onto my shirt, and with the dark green fabric as a background. I can almost imagine the mockingjay flying through the streets. Effie Trinket comes to call in my fourth super. I follow her through the narrow, rigging corridor into a dining room with polished panel walls. There are tables there where all the dishes are helium breakable. Peter Mallerk sits waiting for us, the share nets to empty. Where's Heinrich? As Effie Trinket briskly. Last time I saw him, he said he was going to take a nap, says Peter. Well, it's been an exhausting day, says Effie Trinket. I think she's really behind Mitch's absent, and we can blame her. The supper comes in courses: a thick carrot sauce, green salad, lamb chops, and mashed potatoes. Cheese and fruit, a chocolate cake throughout the meal. Effie Trinket keeps reminding us to save space because there's more to come. But I'm stuffing myself because I never had food like this, so good and so much. And because probably the best thing I can do between now and the games is put off on 5 pounds. At least Chito had decent manners, said Effie as we're finishing the main course. The pair last year ate everything with their hands, like a couple of savages. I completely used my digestion. The pair last year were two kicks from the same would never know one day of their lives. Hadn't know to eat, and when they did have food, table manners were surely the last thing on their minds. Peter's a baker's son. My mother taught Pring and I to eat properly. So yes, I can handle a fork and knife. But I had Effie Trinket's comment so much I make a point of eating the rest of my meal with my fingers. Then I whip my hands on the tablecloth. This makes he pours his lips thickly together. Notice the meal overs I'm feeding to keep the food down. I can see Pita's looking a little green, too. Neither of her stomachs is used to such rich fare. But if I can hold John's greasy says cognition of meat, pig entrails, and 3 back. we're special and determined to hang on to this. We go to another compartment to watch the recap of the ribbons across Panem. The trees to stagger, then throw the day so a person could conceivably watch the whole thing live, but only people in the capital could really do that. Could really do that. Since none of them have to attend and repaint themselves. One by one, we see the other ribbons the names called. The Bulgarians step forward more often not. We examine the face of the kids who will be our competition. A few stand out in my mind. A monstrous boy who longs forward to volunteer from District 2. A fox-faced girl with sleek red hair from District 5. A boy with a creepy photo from the District 10. And most handily a 12-year-old girl from the District 11. She has dark brown skin and eyes, but other than that, she's very like Prince, in size and demeanor. Only when she mounts the stage and they ask for volunteers. As you can hear, it's the wind whistling through the decrepit building around her. There's no one willing to take her place. That's on the show District 12. Bring Bain called be running forward to the volunteers. You can miss the desperation in my voice, and I show Prince behind me. As am I afraid, no one will hear, and they tuck Prince away. But of course, they do hear. I see a girl pulling her of me, and watch myself mount the stage. The commentators are not sure what to say about the chorus refusal to applaud. The silent salute on says the Directory 12 has always been a big bad word, but the local custom can be charming, as if on who had midfold on the stage. Angie run comically, Peter's name is round, and he quietly takes his place. We shake hands. They go to the ending again, and the program ends. If a trinket is disgruntled about the stage, her win was it. Your mentor has a lot to learn about presentation, a lot about televised behavior. Peter unspeak loud. He was wrong, says Peter. He's wrong every year. Every day? I thought. I can help smirking a little. If it trained Max, it sounded like Hamish. You was somewhat rough manners that could be corrected with a fake teach from her. Yes, he says Effie Trinket. How did you two find it amusing? You know your mentor is your lifeline to the world in these games. Dion was advises you. Limes of your samples and dictated the representation of any gifts. Hamish can will be the difference between your life and your death. Just then Hamish starts into the compartment. I'm a super, he says in a slurred voice. Then he vomits all over the expensive carpet and falls in the midst. So likes away, say Effie Trinket. She hops in her point shoes around the pool of vomit and fills the room.